Alright, hi, Chapter 662-701, Florida Administration Codes, Florida Department of Environment, Solid Waste Management Facilities Intent Definitions, Documented Incorporated Reference, General Application Prohibitions, Approval of Alternate Procedure Requirements, Permits for Fees for Solid Waste Management Facilities, Solid Waste Management Facility Permit Requirements, General Landfill Permit Requirements, General Criteria for Landfills, Landfill Construction Requirement, Hydrogeological Geotechnical Investigation Requirements, Geotechnical Investigation Requirements, repealed, Vertical Expansion Landfills, Landfill Operation Requirements, Water Quality Monitoring Requirements, Special Waste Handling, Gas Management Systems, Landfill Final Closure, Other Closure Procedures, Long-Term Care Financial Assurance, Closure existing landfills repealed, material recovery facilities, waste processing facilities, industrial solid waste disposals repealed, waste processing facilities, construction, demolition, and debris disposal and recycling, general permit of solid waste transportation, transfer sanitation is repealed, general permit for land application of grade 2 domestic wastewater treatment sludge repealed, general permit for off-site disposal of yard trash and form 701. 701-100. The intent of Chapter 62-701 through 62-722 is to establish standard for construction, operation, closure of solid waste management facilities to minimize their threat to public health and environment, to provide safe handling, storage, disposal benefits, use for ash residual from composition of solid waste, to establish procedure for the examination, certification, recovery, resource recovery equipment, to implement the tax exemption provided with the Section 222, 212, 0.87Q Florida standards, and subject to 12A1.00120 Florida Administrative Codes, to regulate the production of the use of the composite made of solid waste, to establish a comprehensive program to proper management, recycling the used oil, regulate waste, tire, storage, collection, transportation process, reusing, recycling, reusable, disposal, to establish procedure for the disbursement of the grants for solid waste management, to provide uniform procedure by the certain person in this state to who handle, purchase, receiver, recovery, sell, or end user for the recovered material shall be certified by the report of the department and register and report to the certain local governments to the implementation provision Florida State Waste Management Act, Section 403-702 through 7193, 403-75 through 769, Florida State Statutes, Rulemaking Authority 403. .061 403704 Florida State laws implemented 403021 403661 4037 403702 through 7193 40375 through 769 Florida State History News 1 January 6, 1993 formerly 17-701 100 amended with December 12 23rd 1996 May 20 7th, 2001, January 6, 2010. Alright, 62-701, 200 definitions of the following word phrases, the terms of the chapter 62-701 through 62-722, unless context indicate otherwise, should have the following meaning. Active life means the operating life of the facility estimated with the permanent application that does not include the long-term care period. Agricultural waste means the solid waste resulting from normal farming operation, raising, slaughtering animals, processed for the animal products, orchard or field crops which are stored and transferred, disposed of any of the unwanted waste material. 3. An airport means of any area of land or water that any man-made object or facility located therein which is used and intended for the use of landing and taking off of the aircraft, any appurtenant area that is used and intended use for the airport buildings or other airport facilities right away together with all airport buildings and facilities located therein. Air quality standards mean unless otherwise specified the standards set forth in Chapter 62-204 of the Florida Administrative Codes. The ASTM means ASTM internationally. Aquifer means a geological information group in formations, part of the formation capable of yielding a significant amount of groundwater to the well and springs and surface water. Ash residual means the solid residue, any entrained liquid resulting from the composition of solid waste with the solid waste combustor, including bottom ash, fly ash, combined bottom and the fly ash, and excluding recovered metals and glass or other recovered materials separated with the ash residue. Bottom ash means the solid waste, meaning remaining after the combination of the solid waste and the discharge of the grates or a stroker of the solid waste combustor. Fly ash means a residual from the combustion of solid waste which is entrained in the gas stream of the solid waste and combustible. The fly ash includes particulate particles, cinder, soot, and solid waste that are from air pollution control equipment. Biomedical waste has the meaning given in Chapter 62E, 16 Florida Administration Code. Biological waste means solid waste that causes the capability of causing disease. Infection includes the biomedical waste, animals that died from the disease, otherwise capable of transmitting pathogens to humans or animals. The term does not include human remains that are disposed of by a person licensed in the Chapter 407 470 Florida State Statute. Bird hazard means increase in likelihood of bird and aircraft collision that may cause damage for the aircraft or injury in its occupation. CCA treated wood means lumber and timber, the plywood treated with the chromated copper arsenated. The term does not include utility poles unless they have been ground and chipped or shredded. Cells means the volume of the solid waste received since the last previous application of the initial cover of the complicated waste. Subsequential initial cover constituted with the cell usually contains wastewater deposited in one day. Class 1 waste means the solid waste that is not hazardous waste and that does not prohibit for disposal in a lined landfill under Rule 62, 701, 300 Florida Administration Codes. Class 3 waste means of yard trash, construction, demolition, debris process, asbestos, carpet, cardboard, paper, glass, plastic, furniture, other than applicable appliances, other material approved by the department that are not expected to produce leachite that is possessed of threat to public health and environmental. Clean debris means many of the solid waste which is virtually inert and no pollution threat to groundwater, surface water is not a fire hazard, is likely to retain physical chemical structures under expected conditions of the disposal or use of the term that includes brick, glass, ceramics, uncontaminated concrete, including embedded pipe and steel. 16. Clean wood means wood including lumber, trees, and shrub trunks, branches, limbs, which are free of paint, glue, filler, pentachlorophenol, creosote, tar, asphalt, chromated copper, arsenated, other wood preservatives and treatment. 17. Closing means the time which solid waste management facility ceases to accept waste, including those actions taken by the owner and operated facility to prepare the facility for any of the necessary monitoring, maintenance, and after closing. Closure means a cessation of operation of solid waste management facility of acting, securing in such a facility so that it will pose no significant threat to human health or environmental. That includes closing and long-term care. cm/seconds means centimeters per second. Co-disposal means the disposal of two or more different types of waste in the same solid waste disposal unit. Combustion means the treatment of solid waste and received that using heat primarily means of changing the chemical, physical, biological character of the composition of the waste combustion process, including incineration, gasification, pyrolysis. Commercial solid waste means all types of solid waste generated in stored office, restaurants, warehouses, other non-manufacturing activities, excluding household waste and industrial solid waste. Composite liner means the liner compromised via geomembrane underlying within direct contact with the soil component. 24. Construction and demolition debris mean the discarded material generally considered to be not water suitable, soluble, or non-hazardous in nature, including not limited to steel, glass, brick, concrete, asphalt material, piping, gypsum, wallboard, lumber. From construction, destruction of structure as part of the construction demolition project on renovation of the structures include such debris from the construction of structures on site, remote construction demolition project. This term includes rock, soil, tree, remains, trees, other vegetative matter that is normally a result of land clear of land developing operation construction project. Clean including clean cardboard, paper, plastic, wood, or metal scrappings for the construction, development, operation, construction projects except provided with the Section 403-7079J Florida State statutes. Yard trash, unpainted, non-treated wood and scraps from the source other than the construction demolition process, scrap of the manufacturing facilities that if the type of the material generally used in construction projects that would meet the definition of the construction demolition debris if generated as part of the construction or demolition project include the construction manufactured homes and scraped shingles, wallboard, siding concrete, similar materials, industrial, commercial facilities, de minimis amounts of other hazard waste that are generated with construction demolition projects, provided such amounts are consistent with the best management practices of the construction demolition industry. Mixing construction demolition debris with other types of solid waste will cause it to be classified other than construction demolition debris. Contaminated soil has the meaning in the subject of Section 62, 713, 2003 Florida Administration Codes. Degradable waste means waste that decomposed with the chemical breakdown, microbiological activity that includes materials such as food, vegetative waste, but does not include materials like concrete, any residual combustible solid waste materials. Department means State Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Design period, the operating life of the solid waste management facility plus any long-term care period after the disposal means the discharge, deposit, injection, dumping, spilling, leaking, placing any of the solid waste upon any land or water such as solid waste constitute. There are many either lands are emitted into the air discharge in any waters, including groundwaters, otherwise entering the environment. An engineering record means the professional engineering registered with the state of Florida in accordance with the provision of Chapter 471 Florida State Statutes is appointed by owner and operator for the solid waste management facility. Facility means a contingency of land and structure, other appurtenancy improvements on the land using solid waste management. 32 field means the man-made deposit other earth waste material used for filling excavations to increase the vertical and horizontal extent of land or solid waste disposal units or to build embankments. Final cover means the material used to cover the top of the inside of the landfill with fill operation cease. The garbage means all the kitchen tabletop food waste, environmental vegetable waste that is attendant with or result from the storage, preparation, cooking, or handling of the food materials. 35 gas condensation means the liquid generated with the result of gas recovery. The process solid waste management facility. Gas recovery facility means the system, wells, trenches, pipelines, other related to ancillary structures such as manholes, compressors, monitoring, insulation that collect, transport the gas produced with the waste disposal unit of one or more gas processing point of flares. Flow of gas through such a system may be produced naturally occurring gas pressure gradients or may be added by inducing draft generated mechanical means. Generation means active process producing solid waste. Geocomposite means a product composed of two or more materials, at least one of which is geosynthetic. Geomembrane, which is the low permeable synthetic membrane used integral for the parts of the system designed to limit the movement of liquid and gas systems. Geogrid means a geosynthetic form of regular net integral connected elements for the apertures greater than 6.35 millimeters or 1/4 inch to allow interlocking with the surrounding solid rock, earth, and other surrounding materials functioning primarily as reinforcements. 41. GeoNet means the geosynthetic consisting integrally controlled connected parallel sets of the river overlying similar sets of various angles, planar drainage of liquid gases. Geosynthetic means or planar protected manufactured pilometric material used with solid rock, earth, and other geotechnical engineering related material as integral part of the man-made project structural or system. Geosynthetic clay liner. GCL means the low permeable manufactured material consisting of low permeable clay placed between two geotextiles. Geotextiles being permeable textiles used as part of a system designed to act as a filter to prevent flow of the fine particles. Drainage system to provide planar flow of the drainage, serve cushioning for the protective geomembranes to provide structural support. GRI means Geosynthetic Research Institute. Groundwater means water that is beneath the surface of the ground with zone saturation, whether or not it's flowing through the known or definite channels. Hazardous waste means the solid waste regulated with the department as hazardous waste pursuant to Section Chapter 62, 730 Florida Administration Codes. HDPE means high density polyethanol. Household waste means any solid waste, including garbage, trash, sanitary waste, and septic tanks delivered from the household, including single, multiple residence, hotels, motels, bunkhouses, ranger stations, crew quarters, campgrounds, picnic grounds, and day use recreation. 50. Indoor means a structure that has constructed with a roof with an impervious source with outside walls, the minimum of all but one of the sides facility. The roof outside of the wall must be constructed with materials having structural strength like wood, block, fiberglass, plastic, metal, rather than materials like canvas, tarpaulin. May include windows or doors. Impervious surfaces means a surface like poured concrete or asphalt concrete. Industrial byproduct means of the materials that have been demonstrated recycling potential can feasibly be recycled and have diverted with the remove the solid waste stream of sale and sale for use and reuse. The term does not include any materials that are defined with the recovered materials, mixed waste material stream that process with removable recyclable materials for recycling, use which specified address with the department rules such construction, demolition debris or residual waste tires, used oil and composites, industrial products are regulated with solid waste unless otherwise exempted under statute paragraph 62, 701, 222D Florida Administration Codes. Industrial solid waste means the solid waste generated with manufacturing industrial process for the not hazardous waste. Such waste may included but not limited to the water waste not limited to waste resulting from following of the manufacturing process, electrical power generation, fertilizer, agricultural chemicals, food-related products and byproducts, and organic chemicals in iron, steel manufacturing, leather and leather products. Non-ferrous manufacture and foundries, organic chemicals, plastic resins, manufacture pulp, paper industry, rubber, miscellaneous plastic products, stone, glass, clay, concrete products, textile manufacturing, transportation equipment, water treatment. The term does not include mining state waste or oil, gas waste. The initial cover means a 6-inch layer of compacted earth that used to cover any of the area of solid waste before placement of additional waste and immediately covered in the final cover. The term also includes the other material thickness approved by the department that minimizes the vector breeding, animal attraction, fire potential, preventing blowing litter, control orders, improved landfill appearance. Integral 2 means regards examination, certification, resource requirement, recovery equipment. The machinery equipment provides significant function in the resource recovery recycling process, such as the resource recovery recycling process could not proceed without piece of machinery equipment. Intermediate cover with the layer of the compactor of the earth at least 1 foot depth and applied with the solid waste disposal unit. The term also includes the material thickness approved with the department to minimize disease vectors, odors, fires, and is consistent with the Lachete control design of the landfill. Land clear debris means of the rock, soil, trees, other vegetative material that normally results from land and clearing of land development, operation, construction project. Land clearing debris does not include vegetative material from law maintenance, commercial, residential landscape maintenance, right of way or easement maintenance, farming operations, nursery operations, any other source not directly to the construction project. Landfill means a solid waste disposal facility which in a land and excavation where the waste have been placed in the disposal for permit or other general permit is required in Section 403, 707 Florida State Statute. So the term should not include land site, spreading site, a surface impoundment, and C, an injection well defined under the subject provision of Chapter 62, 528 Florida Administrative Codes, or the construction, demolition, debris disposal site regulated with 62, 701, 730 Florida Administrative Codes. Lateral expansion means a horizontal increased dimension of the waste boundary of an existing solid waste disposal unit. Lache means a liquid that has been passed through an emerged solid waste, meaning may contain soluble, suspended, miscible the materials. Lead acid battery means lead acid batteries designed for the use of motor vehicles, vessels, aircraft. Includes such batteries when such a component with the motor vehicle, vessel, aircraft when solid as recycled components. Lift means completed with horizontal cell areas of cells. Lined landfill means a landfill constructed of a liner made with synthetic materials, low permeable soils, or a combination of these materials have been permitted. The department if the department's landfill design criteria specified in the chapter previous versions of the chapter time permitting. Liner means a continuous layer of the low permeable natural synthetic materials under the bottom and sides of the landfill solid waste disposal. Lache surface impoundment which controls the downward lateral escape of the waste and constitutes lache. Linear liner system means a system of lache collections of liner laws layers comprised of natural synthetic materials installed between subgrade with the waste for the purpose of containing waste and collection of removal lache. Liquid waste means any waste material determined by containing free liquids defined in period method 9095 paint filter liquid test. As described in test method evaluation, solid waste physical chemical methods, the Environmental Protection Agency publication number SW846. The LLDPE means linear low density polyethanol. The local government means in multiple municipal county district authority, any other agents, therefore a combination of the two or more foregoing when acting jointly in connection with the project with the jurisdiction over the collection, recycling, disposal, treatment of the solid waste. Lower explosive limit, the means of lowest percent with the volume mixture of explosive gases that will promulgate with the flame in aircraft at 295 degrees Celsius in atmospheric pressure. Manure means solid waste composed of the excreta of animals, residual materials that have been used for bedding, be it bedding, sanitary, feeding purposes of such animals. Materials recovered the means of the process which one or more of the various components of the solid waste is separated and concentrated for reuse. Materials recovery facility means a solid waste management facility provided with the extraction of solid waste recyclable materials suitable for the use of fuel, soil amendment, any of the combination of such materials. 72 methods of detection limit, the means of small concentration analyte interest that can be measured reported with a 99% confidence that the concentration is greater than zero. The method detection limit shall be determined pursuant to the procedure outlined in Chapter 62, 160 Florida Administration Codes. They are hereby incorporated with the reference monitoring wells, strategically located wells in which water samples are drawn for water quality analysis. Monofill means a waste pile, landfill, solid waste disposal unit in which one type of the solid waste is placed. Motor vehicle means an automobile, motorcycle, truck, trailer, semi-trailer, tractor, semi-trailer combination, or any other vehicle operated in the state used to transport people, persons, property, and properly propel power through the muscle power. The term does not include traction engines, road rollers, such vehicles as run only upon track or bicycle, moped, farm tractors, or trailers. 76. Normal farming operations means of the customary generally accepted activities practice the procedure with the farms adopted and engaged during the production, preparation of market and poultry, livestock, associated farm products, and production, harvesting, packaging, agricultural crops, which include agronomic, horticultural, silvicultural crops, including management, collection, storage, composition, transportation, utilization, organic, agricultural waste, manure, the materials solely derived with the agricultural crops, a facility regulated with the animal feed operation pursuant to Chapter 62, 670 Florida Administration Codes, manages and manure on-site will be considered by it to engage normal farming operations. 77. Objectionable orders has meaningfully given in the term of 62, 6, 210, 200 Florida Administration Codes. Ole waste have meaningfully given in the term of 62, 710, 201 Florida Administration Codes. 100-year flood plan means lowland, relatively flat areas adjoining inland coastal waters, including flood-prone areas of offshore and inlands that are undated by a 100-year flood. On-site means of the same geographical contingency property, which may be divided in public or private right-of-way. It does not include two or more parcels of land more than a mile apart that connected with the public or private right-of-way. Open burning means the burning of any material on such condition that the product of the combustion is emitted directly to the atmosphere. A2. Operator means of any person, including the owner, which is principally engaged as in charge of the actual operation, supervision, maintenance of solid waste management facility. Personnel may also any and all persons, natural or artificial, including any individual, firm, association, municipal, private corporation, organized existence under law of the Florida, any other state, or any other county of the state, any governmental agency of the state or federal government. PGI means a PVC Geomembrane Institute. Population means the most recent population census determination under Section 186.901 Florida State Statutes. Potable water well means excavation, drilled hole, bored, convertible, non-potable water use when the intent of such excavation, location, acquisition, groundwater that supplies waste water of the human consumption. 87. Processed tire means a tire that has been retreated mechanically, chemical, thermally as resulting material is as a marketable product and suitable for proper disposal. Processing means a technique designed to change physical, chemical, biological character of the composition of any solid waste as to render safe the transport, enable the recovery, storage, and recycling, safe the disposal, reducing the volume and concentration. 89. Professional engineer means an engineer licensed with the state of Florida in accordance with the Chapter 471 Florida State Statute. Professional geologist or the geologist licensed in the state of Florida in accordance with Chapter 492 Florida State Statute. 91. Participable waste means the solid waste containing the organic material capable of being decomposed by microorganisms of such characteristic proportions as capable of attraction provided with the food for birds. The term does not include the uncontaminated yard trash or clean wood. PVC is a polyvinyl chloride. Quantities of the tires means either the weight, volume, actual number of tires. For the purpose of 62.711, the Florida Administrative Code assumed that for passengers' tires there are 100 tires per ton, 10 tires per cubic yard. That the truck tires there are 20 tires per ton. 94. Reasonable assurance means the existence of a substantial likelihood, although that the absolute guarantee that the proposed activity would be successfully implemented. Proposed activity application will comply with the appliance of agency rule, laws, orders, and permits conditions that does not prove the facility will not fail. Recovered materials means metal, paper, plastic, textile, rubber materials that have known recycling potential and can be feasibly recycled, have been diverted and sourced, separated, and have been removed from the solid waste stream, sale, or used to reuse all materials, whether or not the materials require subsequent processing and separation for each of other, but it does not include materials designated for any of the use of the constitutes disposal. Recovered materials are described above and are not solid waste. Recovered materials processing facility means a facility engaged in solely in storage and processing and resale reuse of the recovered materials, such as a facility not solid waste management facility, if it meets condition in paragraph 62.701.220. Florida Administration Codes. Recovered screen material means defined fractions consisting of soil, other small materials derived through the process of recycling, construction, demolition debris, which passes through a final screening size no greater than 3/4 of an inch. Recyclable material means the materials that are capable of being recycled, which are otherwise processed and disposed of solid waste. Recycling means any process in which solid waste or materials which otherwise would be becoming solid waste are collected, separated, processing, reused, and returned to use the form of raw materials and products. 100. Recycling equipment means machinery, equipment exclusively integrally used for the actual process by which solid waste material which would otherwise become solid waste and separated, processed, reused, and returned to use in the form of the raw materials and products. Resource recovery means the process of recovering materials and energy from the solid waste, excluding the material solid waste under the control of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Resource recovery equipment means the equipment of machinery exclusively integrally used for the actual process of recovering material energy result. Resource solid waste definition specifically includes recycling equipment. Sanitary nuisances means a condition created by any person keeping, maintaining, propagation, existing, permitting any other person by a person with the health or lives of individuals may be threatened, impaired, but the disease may be caused and transmitted. 104. Shredding means the process of reducing the particular size of the solid waste through the use of the grinding, shredding, and milling and rasping machines. 105. Site means an area of land with water with properly boundaries, solid waste and management facilities with one of the more solid waste processing, resource recovery, recycling, storage, disposal areas located. Sludge means the solid waste pollution controlling residual generated with industrial, domestic wastewater treatment, waste supplies, treatment plant, air pollution control facility, a system tank, grease trap, portable toilet, related operation, any other such waste having similar characteristics. Sludge may be solid, liquid, semi-solid waste, but does not include treated effluent with wastewater treatment plant. 107. Solid waste means a sludge that is not regulated under the Florida Federal Clean Water Act or Clean Air Act, as well as sludge with wastewater treatment works, waste supply treatment and air pollution control facility, garbage, rubbishing, refuse, special waste, or other discarded material, including solid, liquid, semi-solid, contained gaseous materials resulting in domestic, industrial, commercial, mining, agricultural, government operations. Materials not regulated with solid waste pursuant to the chapter of the recovered materials, nuclear source byproduct materials regulated in Chapter 404 Florida State Statutes under federal Federal Atomic Energy Act of 1954 as amended with the suspended disposed materials of domestic sewage and influential irrigation return flows, other regulated point of sources, discharge regulated air emission fluid waste associated with natural gas, crude oil exploration production. 108 solid waste combustor means of an enclosed device that uses controlled combustion, primarily purpose of which is thermally break down solid, liquid, gaseous combustible solid waste to ash residue that contains liquid and non-combustible materials. The solid waste combustor specifically includes any facility incineration, gasification, pyrolysis to break down solid waste. Solid waste disposal facility means a solid waste management facility which is the final resting place for solid waste include landfills and incineration facilities produce the ash with the process incineration municipal solid waste disposal unit means the discrete area of land used for disposal of solid waste. Solid waste management means the process with solid waste is collected, transported, sorted, separated, processed, disposed in any other way according to an orderly, purposely planned program which includes closure. 112 solid waste management facility means that any solid waste disposal, transfer station, material recovery facility, other facility, purposes of which a resource recovery, the disposal, recycling process, stored solid waste. The term does not include recovered materials processing facilities which meet the requirement of 662, 701, 220 Florida Administration Codes except for the portion such as if that any youth management solid waste. Special waste means the solid waste that requires special handling management including but not limited to white goods, waste tires, used oil, lead acid, batteries, construction, demolition debris, ash, residue, yard trash, biological waste, mercury contamination, devices and lamps. Stabilized means a biological chemical decomposition waste that has ceased diminished to a level that so that the such decontamination does not longer poses a pollution, health, or safety hazard. Subgrade means the soil native to the imported site. Other materials are authorized with the permit. Other this chapter may be graded to compacted before landfill or liner system is constructed. Otherwise, over them, tire means a continuous solid pneumatic rubber covering and circling wheel and motor vehicle. The tire disposal means the deposit, dumping, spilling, placing any waste or residual into and up in any in the structure, land, water. Tire disposal also includes burning any waste, tire residual waste to any facility, incinerator, or other facility used solely for the disposal of solid waste. Tire recycling means any process which waste tires are residual, reused, or returned to using the form or the product of the raw materials. Ton means the short ton, 2,000 pounds. Transfer station means the facility primary purpose in which the store and hold waste of the transport, processing, and disposal facility. Operation such facilities may include separation of incidental amounts of recyclable materials, unauthorized waste. Unauthorized waste means any type of the waste that is not allowed to be anticipated managed a solid waste management facility in accordance with the rules, statutory requirements, and the permit conditions. Use of oil means that given when the rule 62, 710, 201 Florida Administration Codes. Use tire means a whole waste of tire minimum tread depth of 3/32 of an inch greater than suitable use for the use of any of the motor vehicles. Uppermost aquifer means a geological formation near the natural ground surface of the aquifer, and as well as the lower aquifer is hydraulically interconnected with the aquifer within the facility's property boundary. A vector means of a carrier organism capable of transmitting pathogens from one organism to another. Waste tire means a tire that has been removed from the motor vehicle that has not been retreaded or regrooved. The term includes used tires, processed tires, but not including solid rubber tires and tires inserable but from the rim. Waste tire collection center means of a site where the waste tire is collected for the public before being offered for the recycling disposal when fewer than 1,500 tires are kept on site on any given day. Waste tire collector, many of the persons who transport 25 waste tires over the public highways at one time. Waste tire processing facility means of the site where the equipment is used to treat waste tires mechanically, chemically, or thermally, resulting materials, marketable products, suitable proper disposal. Term includes mobile waste tire processing equipment. 130 waste tire residual means of any liquid, sludges, metals, fabrics, products resulting from the process storage for tire. The residual does not include the process tires for recycling disposal provided with the condition of 62, 711, 50 to 530 Florida Administration Codes are met. Waste tire site means a site which 1,500 tires more waste tires accumulated for the purpose of this time The term of site means a piece of property owned or rented otherwise controlled by a person, including contingency agency properties owned and rented otherwise controlled by a person. Water quality standards and criteria means unless otherwise specified, the standards and criteria set forth in chapters 62.302 and 62.520 Florida Administration Code. White goods are being inoperable, discardable refrigerator, range, washers, water heaters, freezers, and other similar domestic, commercial, large appliances. Working face means a portion of the solid waste disposal unit where the waste is disposed, spread, and compacted before placement in the initial cover. Yard trash means vegetative matter resulting from landscape maintenance, land clearing operation, including materials such as trees, shrub trimmings, grass clippings, palm fronds, tree shrubs, associated rock and soil. 136 zone of discharge has a meaning of the given the rule 62-2200 Florida Administration Code. Other the definitions of Chapter 403 Florida State Statutes, Chapter 62-702 through 62-722 Florida Administration Codes. To the extent that there is a consistent with all the definitions chapter applicable to this term are used in this chapter. Rulemaking Authority 403-704 Florida State Statute Law implemented 403-702 through 717, 403-75 through 769. Florida State History formerly 10D 1202 October 1st, 1974 revised July 20th, 1976 amended with the May 24th, 1979, June 13th, 1984, April 25th, 1985. July 1st, 1985, December 10th, 1985, formerly 17702, 17720, amended in the August 2nd, 1989, June 25th, 1990, formerly 1770102, amended January 1st, January 6th, 1993, January 2nd, 1994, May 1994. May 1994, formerly 17701-201, 17701-200, amended December 23rd, 1996, May 2701, January 6th, 2010, August 12th, 2012, and February 15th, 2015. 62-701-210 documents incorporated with the reference. Special reference documents listed below are made for this show through this chapter. The documented adapted standards incorporated with the chapter reference. The reference documents are available. Inspection at the Department of the District in Tallahassee office may be obtained directly through the source. Environmental Protection Agency document 600 R93182 Quality Assurance Quality Control Waste Control containing facilities in September 1993, Title 40 CFR Part 61, 149, 61, 150, 61, 51, 61, 151, 61, 54, Subpart M, National Emission Standards of Asbestos, January 1st, 1992, for Title 40 CFR Part 136, Appendix B, Definition, Procedure, Determination, Method, Detection, Limit, Revision, 101, 1.1, October 26, 1984, Method of 9095, paint filter test, found by the Environmental Protection Agency, documentation SW846, tested for evaluation of solid waste physical chemical methods, 3rd edition, September 1986, as revised in December 1987, method of 601, 602, Title 440 CFR Part 136, Appendix A, method of organic chemical and analysis of municipal industrial waste, December 22nd, 2000. Title 40 CFR 258-13 faulty areas, October 1991. Title 40 CFR 258-14 seismic impact zones, October 91st. Title 40 CFR 258-15 unstable areas, October 91st. 9. Title 40 CFR 258 Appendix 1 and 2, October 91. Title 40 CFR 264, Subpart H, except for those sections specified in Section 16.2, 701-630B, 6B1, Florida Administrative Code, July 2013. GPO Access Government, CDFR Index, FloridaRules.org, Gateway reference, and Title CFR 261.21, title table the maximum concentration contaminants, the toxical characteristics, July 1992. GRI test method of the GM 13 revision 9 dated the June 1st, 2009. PGI 1104 specification PVC geomembrane effective April 15, 2008. ACM method D5321 D5321 M14 standard tested method determining shear strength of the soil geosynthetic and geosynthetic interfaces. ASTM D5321 director shear January 1st, 2014. 100 Bar Harbor Drive, P.O. Box C700 West Conshohocken, Pennsylvania 94228 new 9559 ASTM.org standard. ACM method D4716, D4716, M14 test method, determination in plane flow rate of the unit width and hydraulic transmissivity of the synthetic using constant head. ASTM D416, January 1st, 2014. ASTM D5887, standard method of measuring index flux between standard geosynthetic clay liner specimens using flexible wall perimeter, June 1st, 2019. ACM method T6243 and D64243 M13 standard method of internal interference. Internal interface shear resistant to the geosynthetic clay liner of the direct shear method. GRI test method GM17 revision 6 dated June 1st, 2009. GRI test method G19 revision 6 dated October 3rd, 2010. The ASTM method of D76612, the standard method of evaluation of hydraulic property geosynthetic clay liners permitted with potential incompatible aqueous solutions. Secondary reference in ASTM standard contained with the subsection 62, 701, 210, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 20. Full administration codes, other standards listed collectively below, or any of the secondary references may be obtained with the ASTM.org standards. ASTM method D65314 standard terminology relating to soil, rock, contaminant, and contained fluids. August 1st, 2014. ASTM method D69812E1 standard method of laboratory compaction characteristics of soil using standard effort. ASTM method D15, 57, 12, standard testing method of the laboratory companion characteristics of soil using modified efforts. ASTM method D2435, D2435, M11 test method for one-dimensional consolidated materials of soil using incremental loading. ASTM method D248711, standard practice classification of soils, engineering purposes, unified soil classification system. ASTM method D3080 M11, standard tested method of directing shear test solid under consolidated drain conditions. ASTM method D374012A, the standard method of minimum requirements agencies engaged in testing and or soil rock used in engineering, design, construction. ASTM method D435412, standard method of practice for sampling geosynthetic rolled erosion controlled products for testing. ASTM method D443914, standard terminology geosynthetics. ASTM method D62436243 M13, standard testing and determining internal interface shear strength of geosynthetic clay liner and direct shear method. ASTM method D449199A, standard testing of water permeable geotextile permitted January 1st, 2014. ASTM method D159204 2010 E1, standard practice designing installation groundwater monitoring wells, August 1st, 2010. ASTM method D6574, 6574, 13E, standard test method determining in-plane hydraulic transmitted geosynthetic radial flow. ASTM method of E69, 114, standard practice conducting inter-laboratory study of determining the precision of the test method. ASTM method D221610, standard test method of laboratory determining the water moisture content soil of the rock by masses. ASTM method, the D475307, the standard guide for the evaluating, selecting, specifying, balancing standard masses for use of solid rock construction material testing, January 15, 2007. ASTM method EVE 14594 2011 standard specification gravity convention forced ventilation ovens December 1st 2011. ASTM method D5321 D5321 M14 standard method determining shear strength of soil geosynthetic interferes the direct shear of the January 4th 2014 ASTM method D607 D0672 M09 standard practice of obtaining sampled geosynthetic clay liners January 1st 2015 ASTM method D588709 standard method of testing measuring including flux through saturated geosynthetic clay liner specimens using flexible wall parameters June 1st 2009. Moving on. 62701-220, general applicability. The chapter is sustainable amended several times since the first promulgated, except otherwise specifically provided the facilities may remain subject to the provision which, where they affect the time, site, and were permitted to receive the site of the certification time complete applications was submitted deemed completed with the department. This chapter applies to solid waste, each solid waste management facility in the state. The following exemptions are surface impounds not addressed in subsection 62701-400 Florida Administration Codes. Injection wells defined under subject in provision 6255-528 Florida Administrative Code. Recovery materials processing facility. If and one, a majority of recovered materials facility demonstrated to be sold, used, or reused within 1 year. Recovered materials product byproduct of the operation process of recovered materials are not discharged, deposited, injected, dumped, spilled, leaked, or placed into upon any land or water. Such products, byproducts, or any of the constitute thereof, and may enter other lands, but or be emitted into the air, discharged, but into any of the waters, and including the groundwater, otherwise entering the environment, such as the threatened contamination, accessible, applicable water quality standards criteria for the air quality standards used. The recovered materials are not hazardous waste. The facility meets the registration requirements of Section 403-7046, Florida State Statute, Chapter 62-722, the Florida Administrative Codes. Industrial byproducts, a majority of industrial byproducts demonstrated to be sold, used, or reused within 1 year. Industrial byproducts are not discharged, deposited, injected, dumped, or spilled, or leaked, or placed into or upon any land or water, such as the industrial byproducts of any constitute, therefore of may any other lands be emitted into the air or discharged in any of the waters, including groundwater, otherwise enter the environment. Such threat and contamination, excess of water quality standards and criteria, air quality standards, and caused by the significant threat to the public health is caused. And the industrial byproducts of the hazardous waste, phosphogenesinium stack systems, cleaning debris that have been segregated with other waste in which it has been used and stored for use of the fill, and were all material. G. The collection and the processing soil rocks, the vegetative debris, asphalt, similar materials normally associated with the actual from the construction routine maintenance of roads as defined in Section 334-03-23 Florida State Statute. Materials are beneficially used and reused for the generated as part of the road construction maintenance projects, street sweeping, ditch scrapings, and shoulder scrapings. Catch basin sediments are included with the exemption provided with a significant amount of solid waste, such as tires, furniture, white goods, automobile parts, as removed prior to the reuse and reuse exemption does not apply with the materials contaminated by the spill and otherwise unusual event. Storage materials in the transfer station, otherwise waste of the storage and addressed with the subparagraph 62701-710-1C5 the Florida Administration Codes. H. The fuel fossil combustion product the beneficial used in accordance with the requirements of Section 403-7047 Florida State Statute. The several requirements throughout the chapter of the request demonstrated must be approved with the department unless otherwise stated within the means of the request. The demonstrated may be submitted with the appropriate department of district office as part of the permanent application request. The permanent modification the department will evaluate such requests, demonstrate in accordance with the applicable criteria set forth in the chapter, will approve the modified permit with the conditions if the criteria in accordance with the former Rule 62-701-720 the Florida Administrative Code. Several personal organization requested approval alternate requirements certain industrial operations which determines made with the department prior to December 23rd, 1996. In response to such requests, remain in an event with the Rule 62-701-720 Florida Administrative Codes has been repealed until unless the department takes action to modify such determinations by rulemaking. 5. Local zoning. The department does not evaluate the compliance with local zoning land use or ordinances with determination whether the issue determining any of the permit under this chapter issuing the permit does not relieve any application compliance with the local zoning land use ordinance with any other laws or rules or ordinances. 6. The several reference to the chapter the facilities will construct with existing unless otherwise specified. These terms means the facility have received permit exempt from the permitting has actually been built and being built in accordance with the permanent exemption. The terms does not include parts of the facility with which, although noted with the long-term design plan, were not authorized constructed during the life of the facility permit. The landfill with the slurry wall liner system deemed to have been constructed with the slurry wall is constructed. 7. Stormwater and surface water management generally regulated under those rules of the Department of the Water Management Districts. Issuing the permit under this chapter does not relieve the permittee from the compliance with any of these rules, or the does not chapter require the applicant receive all necessary the stormwater surface water management permits before the receiving the solid waste permit. 62, 701, 300, prohibition, general prohibition. No person shall store, process, or dispose of solid waste except for the other authorized from the permit solid waste management facility or facilities except for the permit under this chapter. No person shall store, process, dispose of solid waste in a manner or location that causes air quality standards to be violated, water quality standards criteria receiving water to be violated, sitting unless otherwise department to permanent site certification is effective May 27th, 2001, unless specified or authorized under another Department of the rule, the Department of License Site Certification based on upon site specification, geological, hydrogeological design, operational features. No pressure shall store or dispose solid waste in the air with the geological formations or other subsurfaces. Feature will not provide support with the solid waste within 500 feet of the existing improved potable water well unless storage or disposal take place in a facility for which the completing permanent action was filed with which the originally permitted the potable water was in existence. The prohibition shall not apply to the renewal of existing permit that does not involve the lateral expansion, not vertical expansion that is permitted with the facility. And D, water pit, unless the pit is lined with the permanent lache, containment special design technique is used to ensure the integral liner. D, if in a natural and artificial body of the water, including the groundwater, wetlands, the jurisdiction of the department, the prohibition applies to the areas when the waste may settle when the groundwater is maximum exempt flows over the waste. The prohibition does not apply with the areas of the standing water existing only with the after storm events, provided the storage and disposal does not result in the objectionable odors of sanitary nuisance. Within 200 feet of any natural and artificial body of the water, unless storage or disposal take place in the facility which was complete with the permanent action was filed, which was originally permitted before the water body was in existence. Prohibition shall not apply with the renewal of the existing permit if it does not involve the lateral expansion or not vertical expansion at the permanent facility. For the purpose of the paragraph, the body of water includes the wetlands, the jurisdiction of the department, but does not include the impoundments, conveyances, which are part of the on-site permitted stormwater management system bodies of the water contained with the proper a boundary in the disposal site which does not discharge from the site the surface of the water. A person may store the disposed solid waste within 200 feet setback upon the demonstration from the department. The permanent lache control methods will result in compliance with the water quality standards criteria. However, not contained herein will be prohibited to the department imposing conditions necessary to ensure the solid waste and stored within 200 feet of the setback or will not cause pollution from the site of the contravention of the department rules. F, on the right of way of any of the public highway or road, alley, open burning of the solid waste is prohibited except in accordance with Chapter 62, 256 of the Florida Administration Code. Controlled burning of the solid waste prohibited but exempt for the permitted incinerator in the facilities in which the burning solid waste is authorized on site. Certification order issued in Chapter 403, Part 2, Florida State Statute. Hazardous waste, no hazardous waste shall be disposed of in solid waste management facility unless the facility is permitted pursuant to Section Chapter 62, 703, 730 for Florida Administrative Codes. PCBs, disposable liquids contained with polychlorinated bioethanol, non-liquid of polychlorinated bioethanol in the form of the contaminated soil, rags, debris, may be restricted, prohibited in Title 40 CFR Part 761. Person managing the PCBs is advised to consult with the federal regulation before attempting to dispose of the polychlorinated bioethanol any solid waste disposal unit until the state. Biomedical waste, no biomedical waste should be known with deposited in any solid waste management facility unless solid waste in the facility is specifically permitted to receive untreated biomedical waste. The biomedical waste has been properly incinerated so the little or organic material remaining in the ash residue is treated but may be processed by the Department of Health and Provision in paragraph 62, 701, 520. 5D, the Florida Administration complied with the biomedical waste is generated in an individual as a result of self-care of the family member or another non-health care provider. However, in order to reduce the chance of exposure for public human generators are revised to segregate and package such waste as before disposal in accordance with the guidelines of disposal of human-generated biomedical waste available from each county of the health department. No solid waste, including the treated biomedical waste, should be commingled or untreated with biomedical waste unless the solid waste is managed with the same manner untreated biomedical waste. Treated untreated biomedical waste should not be allowed to leak in the environmental during the transportation. Class 1 surface water. The department shall not issue the construction permit of landfill within 3,000 feet of the Class 1 surface water. Special waste in landfills. No person who knows or should know the nature of the solid waste shall dispose of the following waste: lead acid batteries in a landfill, use of oil in any landfill except those provided in Chapter 62, 710 Florida Administration Code. Yard trash, Class 1 landfill except as may be allowed in pursuant to Section 403-708-12C Florida State Statute. White goods in any landfill. Whole waste tires may not be disposed of in any landfill, any construction, demolition, debris, or disposal facilities, except as provided in Chapter 62, 711 Florida Administrative Codes. Special waste for the waste of the energy facilities. No person who knows or who should know the nature of solid waste shall dispose of lead acid batteries, mercury-containing devices, spent mercury-containing lamps, or any of the waste of the energy as the facility. 10. Liquid restriction. Non-containerized liquid should not be placed in the solid waste disposal units except for the household waste and construction demolition debris of the disposal unit. Liquid waste of the household waste other than septic waste, the waste of the latte, the gas condensation derived with the solid waste disposal byproduct of the treatment, such as the latte gas condensation, solid waste disposal unit lined with the latte collection system. Containers holding the liquids waste should be not placed in the solid waste disposal unit unless the container is small containers similar inside the normally found with the household waste. The container is designed with the household liquids for the use of other storage of the waste, and the whole house. The waste is household waste. Container of the tank of the 20-gallon or large in capacity shall either have one end of the removed cut open and have serious puncture with the round with the bottom to ensure the container is empty and free of residue. The empty container of the tanker should comply acted to the small practical volume disposal. 11. Use oily waste, except as provided in paragraph B of the subsection. No person that may mix or commingle with the oil of solid waste, but to be disposed of the landfills directly dispose of the used oil of the landfills. Oil waste, submergents, and other materials maintenance for the cleanup of the containing leaks and spills, accident releases. Used oil soils and contaminated with the use of the result of the spills, accident release are not subject to prohibition. Paragraph A of the subsection. Chapter 12, Yard Trash. The prohibition of subsection applied with the storage, processing, and disposal of the yard trash, except with the paragraph 2B and E of the section, and modified with the following setback distances shall apply: 100 feet from the off-site portable water wells, not setback required for the on-site water wells, and 50 feet from water bodies. Tanks prohibition. 13. Tanks prohibitions of subsection 2 of the subsection do not apply with the storage treatment of the solid waste tanks, which may be criteria for Chapter 62, 761, or subsection 62, 701, 400, Florida Administrative 6, Florida Administrative Codes. Instead of no storage, such storage tanks shall be installed within 500 feet existing community water supply system, existing non-transit, non-community water supply system, nor shall any tank be installed within 100 feet of any of the existing potable water supply. 14. CCA treated wood. CCA treated wood should not be incorporated within composite and made with mulch, decorative, or landscape chippings, any wood product applied with the ground cover soil or soil amendment. The CCA treated wood may be grounded, use the initial cover the interior slopes or lined with the solid waste disposal facilities, provided material criteria with the subsection 62, 701, 253, Florida Administrative Code. CCA treated with water shall be disposed in thoroughly open, burned thoroughly, combustion, containing incinerator. With the dust, the owner of the operator with the solid waste management shall not allow the unconfined emission of the particle material in violation, particular paragraph 62, 290, 63, 20, 42, 6 Florida Administrative Codes. Indoor storage. The prohibition in subsection 2 of the section does not apply to the storage, processing solid waste indoors, provided with the indoor storage and the impervious selection surface latch collection system. For the purpose of this subsection, the impervious surface means either poured concrete pad having minimum thickness 4 inches as an asphalt concrete paving having both minimum thickness 1/2 and 1/2 inches of an additional component with the restricting latch, groundwater, soil cement, sub-base, epoxy, seal, and geomembrane. Storage in the vehicles and containers. The prohibition subsection in this subsection does not apply to storage and solid waste enclosed with the cover with the vehicle container, provided with that such vehicle in the container has been applied with unloaded, moved over the public highways within the previous 7 days prohibited. Also, reasonable effort has been made to minimize leakage from the vehicle container. Existing facilities, the portion facility which were constructed prior to May 27, 2001, remained the subject of the prohibitions with the effect of the time of the mayor authorization construction was issued. Lateral expansion of such facilities remained subject to the prohibition that were in effect at the time of permitting, authorizing, and lateral expansion was issued. For the example, the portion facilities constructed in May 1994 was subject to prohibition against the storage and disposal of solid waste within 500 feet of the existing improved shower water supply, but are not subject to the prohibition. Paragraph 2b of the section. However, the lateral expansion of such facilities occurred in May 1994, the subject of the prohibition. Paragraph 2b of the section. Rulemaking 403-704 Florida State laws implemented 403-704, 403-704-5, 3D, 403-707, 403-708, 403-751-1, Florida State History Formally 10D 1206, 10D 1207, 10 October 1st, 1974, amended with the May 24th, 1979, May 27th, 1982, December 10th, 1985, formerly 17, 704, 17, and 7040, amended July 25th, 1990, formerly 17, 701, 040, the amendment of the January 1st, January 1st, 6, January 6th, 1993, January 2nd, 1994, May 1999, Forms 17, 701, 300, amended December 23rd, 1996, formerly May 27th, 2001, January 6th, 2010, August 12th, 2012, and February 15th, 2015. 26, 62, 701, 310, approval of alternate procedures and requirements.